Hey teachers, it's Laura from Travel and Teach Online FAQ, and today's video is coming from the DaDa classroom. I just wanted to share with you basically all the different bits of the classroom, the different tools and things you should use, because let's be honest, when you're first starting out and you're with a student, you don't really have much time to explore. If you would like to spend a bit of time practicing in the classroom yourself, you can schedule an IT test and just say that you'd like to practice in the classroom. If you go to the schedule tab, you can schedule an internet test there. So that's one option if you do want to play. Otherwise, I'll try and make this video pretty thorough so that you will feel more comfortable when it's time to go into class yourself. So let's start from the top. In the top right corner, left corner even, in the top left corner, this is the timer. So this will tell you when your class starts, and then after your class has started, because you can enter 5 minutes before, it will start running down to when your class ends. So keep an eye on this because you want to make sure you end on time. At the end of class there should be like a little tune, do-do-do-do, or something like that. So it does remind you that the time is finished and you need to leave, but just keep an eye in case. Next to this, it tells you how long the lesson is. This is important to check as well, because sometimes trials in particular can be 14 or 30 minutes, and of course you don't want to run over, or you don't want to go too quickly. So this will help you pace yourself. In the middle you have your stars. You cannot reward your stars by clicking on these. Clicking here does nothing. The reward star button is at the bottom. So you click on the star at the bottom and it will appear at the top. Always remember to give the whole 5 stars to your students. Then in the right, this time that's correct, in the right you have help. So sometimes the student can't see you, you can't see the student, or there are some other problems. Don't worry, all you need to do is click help, and the first thing to try is to reconnect with your student. This will kind of refresh the classroom. If you do this once or twice and it still doesn't work, then you can click help again. I still need IT help, and choose one of the options. And then hopefully in the top right you'll get like a little buzzer saying IT, a little button even saying IT help, and hopefully they'll help figure things out for you and fix the problem. Then you have the class over button. Make sure you press this at the end of every lesson. You can't press it early, you have to wait until the timer is at 0. Then click class over and it will log you out of the classroom correctly. Next to it you have change server and refresh. These are just some other options to try if the classroom isn't running so smoothly or there are some issues. Personally, I've never really used these. I didn't know these were here till just now. But yeah, especially if like the courseware is slow or you're having problems, changing the server might help. Then obviously you have your student's camera, your camera. The little cog here is quite useful. If you come into the class and the student can't see you or hear you, you can click on your little cog and make sure your settings are correct and it's choosing the correct camera, the correct microphone, and it's all sorted. Below your camera you have the TA message, which I never really pay attention to. The parents preference, again, don't really pay much attention to it. You should be able to see it before class. When you click on my students, it will tell you if they don't want them to use a pen or if they want lots of pronunciation practice, but again, not really something to worry about too much while you're in class. Then over on the right, this sometimes has, let me see if I can find a page. No, these pages don't. This sometimes has a bit of a lesson plan, but honestly it's quite difficult to read. It's really small and you can't view it beforehand, so it's not super useful. But if you have really good eyesight or you're really fast at reading, you might find checking out the lesson plan while you're teaching will help. Then again, overview and students info. I never really use these in class. Below this is the chat box. box, which is a great tool for you to chat with your student. When you type in English and send it to them, they can click a button to translate to Chinese. When they type to you in Chinese, you have a little button to translate to English. So this can be quite helpful if you're wanting to, maybe communicate and find a bit more out about your student and their lower levels. I use this quite a lot to find out about their day or about their interests. You can also translate yourself, so in the little underneath the little text, or next to the little text box where you can type, there's a little translate button, and you can translate a word, and it'll translate it for you, and you can send it to the student on the chat box. If you want, you could also copy it to paste it on the courseware. With Google Chrome, you can right click and copy and paste, but I know in the classroom I don't think you can, so you can use the shortcut keys, which are Control and C for copy and Control and V for paste. But in the classroom you can right click, or sometimes you can't now. So yeah, if you want to translate something and copy it onto the courseware, you'll need to click the text box and then you can paste. Here we go. So you can write something on the courseware. Now let's move to the bottom toolbar. This is probably the most useful thing that you'll need. We'll start on the left. You can switch the student's pen on and off. This is great if you have a scribbler who just likes to spend the whole lesson drawing. You can just turn their pen off and they can't write anymore. Next up, you have the text box. So this is really cool. You can write anywhere on the screen. You have this, but the student doesn't. So don't expect the student to be able to type too, they can only draw. Next to that you have the brush. You can change the size of the brush and change the colour. Oh, if it lets me, let's go to black. And you can do whatever you want writing wise. Then next to the star you have the erase button. Unfortunately this erases everything, not just the last thing. There's no like undo button just to erase the last thing that was drawn. You have to erase the whole screen. And then obviously you have your star, which you can give to your student. The whiteboard is really cool. It took me a little while to figure out how to use it. Click on the whiteboard and it will turn blue. And to draw the whiteboard you need to click, hold and drag to the size that you want. And that's basically it. It's not that difficult, it just took me a while. So I usually draw a few just to make it more opaque. And the whiteboards are great for playing games, for practicing writing, for doing stories. They're just great for everything really. I use the whiteboards quite a lot, and again you can draw or type on them, and so can the student. Let's see the last couple of things. So this is to move through the pages, which is obviously always super useful, and if you want to skip a few pages or go back you can just click in the middle and choose the page you want. And the final thing is to change the courseware. So with DaDa you don't have to do one courseware a lesson, you can go at the student's pace. So if after 15 minutes you need to change the courseware, if you're finished you can just click on courseware and go to the next one or the previous one, whichever you like. If you want to review, obviously go to the previous one. So that's it. This is the classroom. I hope you find this useful. If you have any questions about the classroom or DaDa or any of the features in general, please leave a comment or send me a message. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.